Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This is Smart Brainx TV and it's a wonderful day that you've met on the channel. Please do well to subscribe to the channel, like the videos and pass comments on the videos concerning anything you don't understand, and it will be addressed to your utmost understanding. Today, we're considering finding algebraic rule of a pattern. It follows a few steps. Let's go through the steps. Steps 1. Determine the dependent and independent variables. So from the given pattern, we have the dependent and independent variables, so we have to know them. The second one says, determine the difference, that's a constant difference between the values of the dependent variable. The third one says, equate the dependent variable to the product or the multiplication of the number you found in step 2 with the independent variable. The fourth one says, check the values given in the table to form the rule. All right, let's get to understand this with an example. So it says, find the algebraic rule of the following. So we've been given our first table. Let's find the algebraic rule of the table given. So we have number of boys and number of football. So considering we are representing number of boys with B and number of football with F. So considering these two variables B and F, the values of F depend on the values of B. So our independent variable over here is F. Our independent variable is B. And our dependent variable is F. So F depends on B. So the rule says we've determined our dependent and independent variables. Now we are to look for the constant difference between the values of the dependent variable. If we consider 3 and 5, 3 plus 2 gives 5. So the rule here is to add 2 to this one. So 3 plus 2 gives 5. Then 5 plus 2 also gives 7. So the constant difference between the dependent variables is 2. So we will equate the dependent variable, which is F, to the product of the difference between the dependent variables and the independent variable. So we get F to be equal to 2 times B. Let's put this in bracket. When we get this, we will compare what the rule that we are forming here with the table to see if they are equal. If they are not, then we add the difference in the table to the rule. So let's consider when B is equal to 1. So when B equals 1, we replace B is equal to 1 into the formula that we've gotten. So you get F, so we go to 2 times 1. Then 2 times 1 is 2. But from the table, when B is 1, F is 3. So we have to adjust our rule here to match up with the table. So that means the difference between 3 and 2 here is 1. So you add 1 to this, so that when B is equal to 1, F will go to 2 times 1 plus 1. So for the first value of B, we added 1. Let's say the second value of B, when B equals 2, then F equals 2 times 2. Please don't forget that we are using this formula that we derived over here, 2 times B. Now if B is equal to 2, then f is equal to 2 times 2 now. Then 2 times 2 is 4. But from the table, 2 corresponds with 5. That means we have to adjust our 4 to be equal to 5. So to get that, we have to add 1 to 4. So plus 1. Now let's take the third value of b. When b equals 3, then we get f to be 2 times 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. Plus, but the value given that corresponds with 3 here is 7. That means we have to add 1 to this. We see that for all the checkups we are doing, we have to add 1 to each of them. So that implies that we have to add 1 to our formula to make it equal to the rule. Now, let's check up and see. If b is now equal to 4, then we are going to apply this our formula. So we get f to be equal to 2 times 4 plus 1. Then 2 times 4 is 8, and we have plus 1, which is equal to 9. Therefore, the value that corresponds with 4 here is 9. As well, if b is equal to 5, then we get f to be 2 times 5 plus 1. We are trying to apply the formula here to fill up the spaces in the table. So we get 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1. And that is equal to 11. Therefore, the corresponding value of 5 here is 11. Then finally, if b is equal to 6, then f will be 2 times 6 plus 1. The 2 times 6 gives us 12 plus 1, and that gives us 13. So the value that corresponds with 6 here is 13. So this implies that our rule, our algebraic rule, implies f equals 2 times b plus 1. And 2 times b is the same as 2b. Therefore, f equals 2b plus 1. This is the required algebraic rule that we are to find. Let's take the next example. We have girls and number of earrings. So the number of earrings depend on the number of girls that are here. So girls represented by G becomes our independent variable. Then earrings represented by E becomes our dependent variable. So we will equate the dependent variable to the constant difference between the dependent variables. Now, the difference between 10 and 14 is 4. The difference between 14 and 18 is 4. Therefore, the constant difference between the dependent variable is 4. So E will give us 4 times the independent variable, which is G. Now we do our checkup with the 3 values given here. So if G is equal to 3, then we substitute it into this formula that E is equal to 4 times 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. But the value given for 3 is 10. So we have to adjust 12 to be equal to 10. Therefore, we will have to subtract 2 from 12 so that we will get 10. Let's take the second value of G. When G is equal to 4, then E will be equal to 4 times 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. But the value given here was 14. Therefore, we will have to subtract 2 from 16 to give us 14. And finally, when G equals 5, then F equals 4 times 5. And 4 times 5 is 20. But the value given for 5 is 18. So to adjust 20 to give us 18, we subtract 2 again. We say for all the values that we are testing with, we have to subtract 2 from each of the answers we get. Therefore, it will be necessary to subtract 2 from our rule. Then our rule becomes E equals 4 times gene minus 2, which can be written as 4 gene minus 2. So the algebraic rule for this pattern is 4 gene minus 2. So let's fill up the tables. If g is equal to 6, then 4 times 6 gives us 24. Then minus 2, so minus 2 gives us 22. Therefore, the value that corresponds with 6 here is 22. When g equals 7, we get 4 times 7 minus 2. And that is 28 minus 2. Give us 26. Therefore, the value here is 26. And finally, when g equals 8, we get 4 times 8 minus 2. And 4 times 8 gives 32. Minus 2 equals 30. Therefore, the corresponding value of 8 here is 30. Please don't forget to subscribe to Brainx TV for more simplified ways of solving basic mathematics questions. Please share the link of the videos to your friends to help them also understand the basic concept of mathematics, and as well like the videos. See you in our next videos. Bye.